Hello, today we're going to look into building some electric motors. This first video is just going to brainstorm up a couple different models, probably do 2 different versions, and then we will actually build the models of the electric motors in the second video, and then the third video we will look into applying these models to real world applications, say like putting it into a motorbike or some sort of vehicle, and just seeing how we can get these to run and how we can improve upon them. So we're going to begin here in this first version of a model with some wooden based platforms. These are obviously just going to be some cheaper electric motors, kind of just experimenting, seeing how they run, and then we can go back and see how we can improve upon them in the most cost-effective way, make them lighter, more efficient. But with this first version, we are going to just kind of get an idea of how it works. You might have seen models like this. There's a lot of different versions of this type of model out there. But these blocks are basically going to be your bases, and you're going to connect them with 2 metal stands with rings, and that is where your rotor will spin. And in between them you will have a wire coil known as a solenoid coil with air in between rather than metal. And this will be kind of the general makeup of the motor. So once an electric charge is sent through these metal areas here, you will induce the solenoid, and it will begin spinning, and it will keep spinning with the help of a north and south magnet above and below, and that will keep this turning. Now, one issue that I believe we'll run into is the resistivity of the wire against our rings. The friction, I've heard of a few different ways to attack this problem with, say, permanent marker or different oils. So we'll kind of experiment with different ways to improve upon that and see what we can do with this first version, kind of basic version of our motor. So over here we'll have our battery. I will probably, for this version, just get with a regular 12 volt. You connect it here to the metal posts, which sends the charge down into the wire down there. And that's kind of our first basic model, just to see how things work, see how it runs. Like I said, we'll try to improve upon this as we build, especially these areas where there can be higher friction. And obviously the wood blocks may have to go in a later version, as they will be kind of clanky, heavy. So then our second version that we will look into will consist of, obviously this will be a little more expensive to make. Once you get an idea for how the electric motor works with the first version, if you still like what you're doing, you can try out this model. So what this is going to be is a have your north and south magnets in a round shape. You can order them online for, I've seen, as low as $10. Some nice rare earth metal magnets. And in the middle there, I'm experimenting with a round spherical iron ball, not real big, but then making cuts across from each other and winding those cuts with your wiring. The more rounds of coil you can get, the better, so that the sphere turns with an electric charge, helped by these magnets, these north and south magnets above and below. To keep it turning. And this would obviously be a more streamlined, better version of what we saw in version 1. Have rods here, and then most likely connected with a casing of some type that will hold your magnets in place and allow the rotors to be connected. And this is kind of the general idea for version 2. Would probably use a bigger battery if we were going to go after this version. Maybe even 24 volts, but that's pretty big jump there. And it would probably be integrated in to the motor down below in the encasing. When you get to this size, if it's something you're going to use a lot, you may need to insert some type of cooling system, depending on how long you run it for. I don't know if we are quite that advanced, but we will see as we go. But just kind of a fan system. Pretty rough sketch there. But yeah, this is kind of the general idea for our second version of our electric motor. So yeah, if you have any experience building electric motors of your own, leave a comment below.